A recent feature of C-Lightning is that everyone can write their own plugins to C-Lightning so that your own commands become exposed to the command line interface, which I personally think is a really great feature. In this video, I want to show you how to create such a C-Lightning plugin, and we start from a simple lab that I have created in the past. Remember, all the code is on my Git repository and it's open source, and I link it in the description of the video. Psst, if you're not a developer and you just came here because you like to watch my videos, just look at the last minute of this video because I have a personal announcement and message to make. So let me show you the simple lab that I have created first. It is called funds lab, and if I call it, you can see that it displays the total amount of satoshis I have, the total amount that I have on-chain, and the total amount that I have off-chain. This is much nicer than invoking the list funds command, where I have all the outputs and all the channels, and in particular, if I'm not in this test setup, this is a huge list. First of all, we realize that this lab is really small. It basically is just importing the Lightning RPC interface, then it defines two dictionaries for all the units, and it connects to the Lightning RPC interface, and then it has one function. Basically, in this line, the RPC interface list funds command is called, and then I sum up all the outputs and I sum up all the channels and I calculate the total funds, and then basically I return this JSON field. And then at the very end of this file, what happens is I just print the invocation of the funds method. So these are 85 lines of quick code to write a Lightning app. If you have not done this before, check out in my channel the Hack a Lab tutorials, where I explain step by step how to create such a lab. I assume that you already know this. And from here on, I will explain you how to quickly create a Lightning plugin. So the first thing that we do is we go to the import statements, and we import another module from the PyLightning API. And then we need to create an instance of the plugin class, and we need to give the parameter autopatch equals true. So we jump to the funds method, and then we create a decorator for the funds method with the @plugin.method notation, and we give it the name funds. And then the funds method also needs to get another argument, which is the plugin. We jump to the end of the file, and instead of printing the result of the funds method, we call plugin.run. And then we need another decorator and method, which is the init method, and sorry for the typo here. And the init method always becomes 3 arguments: options, configuration, and plugin. And we return the init function, which didn't do anything meaningful yet. So when we look at our command line interface, I have a screen session running with a Lightning node. I stop the Lightning node, and now I restart it, but I put in one new command, which is -- plugin, and then I have to attach the path where I would find the plugin. Now, if I invoke the help function of my Lightning node, you can see that there is a new command, which is the funds command, and it takes some parameters, and when I call it, you can already see that it gives out some satoshis or the funds that I have in millibitcoin or Bitcoin or in bits. Unfortunately, our plugin is not ready yet because we have specified in our lab specifically where our Lightning RPC interface was located. And when you have a plugin that you want to ship to anybody and everyone is running their Lightning node in different directories, we have to be a little bit smarter. Luckily, the plugin API comes with a little help to this. So we invoke a global variable into the init function, which is the RPC interface. And then we call the join method, and in the configuration variable there is the Lightning directory field, and there's also the RPC file field. And we join them together, and when I talk about joining, I mean the operating system path join. And then I have to assign to the RPC interface variable the new Lightning RPC interface. We can jump back to the original definition of the Lightning RPC interface. We assign it with a value of none, comment out the other thing, and we restart our Lightning node. And then we see that the funds are now displayed in bit, and otherwise the funds are also there. There's even more cool stuff that you can do. So for example, you can invoke the log method of the plugin object, and I will restart the Lightning node again, and now here you can see that our log message is displayed in the log file. And another really cool thing that I can do is I can add command line options to C-Lightning. For example, I can add the option funds display unit, and give it a standard value of S, and I can also attach a help message to it. So what I will do now is I will check if the unit that was passed was none, and if it was none, I will get from the command line option funds display what unit we had. And also, obviously, I still have to change the argument of the funds function. Let me show you what happens on the command line. If I call the funds function, it shows me by standard the funds in the Satoshi unit. But now if I go to my screen session and I restart my Lightning node, but this time with the funds display unit argument, and I assign it a value of B, when I call the funds command, then it's being depicted in bit. Unless I give the argument of S, then it's depicted in Satoshis. One thing that you might have to do is you have to go to the Lightning repository, into the contrib folder, and PyLightning, and then you have to run Python 3 setup py develop, because this will make your Python interface available to your Python interpreter. And another thing that I should show you is that the help function is actually really there. If I call help, there's nothing there, but if I call the Lightning daemon with our plugin and then I invoke the help command, you can see that the funds display unit argument is a new argument that is there for our Lightning node. Wow, I hope this was not too intensive for you. There is also one other way of creating plugins, which is to register events, but this code is still being developed by Christian Decker from Blockstream, so I would explain this in a later video. Remember, all the source code is available in my GitHub repository, which I have linked in the description of the video. Next week, I'm hopefully able to create the onion routing video. My camera is supposed to arrive tomorrow. There was some problems with the delivery method. And if you stayed for the announcement, here it is. I have a plan for 2019. I want to create the first book for the Lightning Network. It's supposed to target developers mainly, but also people who are interested in Bitcoin and the Lightning Network in general. I hope that I can create my book on GitHub in an open process together with the videos that I'm creating. And next week I will probably start a fundraiser in order to get some funds that I can work full-time on this. I think creating such a book takes at least 1 year. It would be really nice to get your feedback on this idea if you think that it is possible for me to attract the funds that keep me going for 1 year. I've calculated this through and think it's, with current exchange rates, about 21 Bitcoin. Yeah, and I would love to have your feedback, and until then, happy Lightning hacking.